They took your name, your land, your language, but not your legacy. Reclaim it at AfricanAncestry.com.
Can you tell us about your experience with ayahuasca?
I went out into, I actually have done it out in the jungle where I went to Peru. And I spent some time up there with the elders. And they are very sacred with the way that they do things. It's been passed on from generations. So this is something that's like 5, 6 generations they've been doing this medicine. And so they have a whole sanctuary where you come in there and you have to get rid of all of your American, or if you're Italian or whatever, all the worldly things that you invest into and you believe, all those different things. You get stripped from all that. So when you first get there, they make you take a oha sache bath, which is they clean out all of the toxins that are from America from using your laundry detergents, colognes, deodorants, because all those have chemicals in it. I mean, all you gotta do is just read it back and see all the aluminum and stuff that's destroying your body. So they do that first and then cleanse you, so then you can be accepted by the jungle, because everything is all energy. So if the jungle is, if the frequency of the jungle isn't accepting you into it, then it's gonna try to get rid of you. That's just, I mean, it's just the truth of what it is. And so they first cleanse you from all that, so then you can be familiar, you can be comfortable within the jungle. And then you have to go on a fast. So during this time, you're not eating any sugars, no salts, anything that is contaminating to the body and the brain chemistry, they eliminate it from you. So everything is at its natural form. If you're eating a plantain, you're eating a plantain raw, no salt, no seasoning. You're eating the plantain raw, its rawest form, because it's easiest for the body to digest that way. And it gets rid of all the other junk that's in your thing. So then it all passes through, and then your body's a clear vessel.
How long is the fasting?
Every day. Yeah, so it's not, I wouldn't say necessarily a fast from food. It's a fast from typically what you would be eating. Yeah, so before you actually take the medicine, it's about 6 hours that you're not eating at all. But in that morning, you can eat, they typically say stay away from mango because it's really high in sugar. So they try to say don't eat too much of that. But they have passion fruits, apples. They make you little rice, little potato, cloves. Really big on cloves. But everything they get in the jungle, And then there's no phone, there's no electricity, there's no AC. You're in the humidity of the jungle. So then your body is just constantly sweating and pushing out things as well. So ayahuasca is like one section of it. The jungle itself is the medicine itself too, because you just being out there in the jungle in your natural state, it's challenging. If you're used to the United States,
Explain why you say it's challenging.
if you're used to just being inside your room and being able to flick on the AC from your phone, you can like literally do whatever you want from a touch of and then you go into here and you can't do any of that. It's like a shock to your nervous system almost. You're like, wait, I can't, okay, phone's gone. Okay, wait, what do I do next? Okay, so when it starts going to nightfall, you have to use candles. When the candle is done, it's done. So it's dark, so you're sitting there, you can hear the noises of the jungle. You hear things out there. You hear little growls. You hear, ruffling around leaves. You're just like, what is outside of where I'm living right now, And so there's times where I had flashlights and, of course, things like that. I had a mosquito net to protect me from all the mosquitoes where I was sleeping at. And there's no AC, so, you're sweating through your sheet every night, man. And so that's new to me, too, because I'm usually, I'm very warm-blooded, man. As soon as it gets a little warm, I'm sweating, So, like, not being able to just quickly regulate that with AC or something is challenging to fall asleep to that, And there's just times that out here ruffling and I'll shine the light and it would be like a big wood rat eating my tambo, which is basically like 4 wooden panels and then a whole bunch of dead leaves on top. So it's not like you're like anything coming there really. If it came down to it, it's the perception of being all right, and or times that you're shining a light and you see a tarantula, you're like, oh, what the heck? I don't even see that regularly at home, or the cockroaches are twice the size and they hiss, they make sounds, and in the jungle, you're not allowed to kill anything. So you can't they say that's like a no-no, because you don't want to harm the jungle, you want to unify with it. So that's also a challenge, because in states you're like, oh yeah, you know, like all of it's just it's an adversity to try to adapt to something that you're not very used to, and you just get, like me, I'm the kind of person, I just jump into the unknown. There's no warm up, you know. I'm not like, I just go in there, and so that was a challenge for me. But whenever you're sitting with the medicine, you do that in the night, and it's a ceremonial process. You sit with the elder of the village. He's like 60, 70 years old. His father's been doing it for a long time. So it's very, very important. And everything they do is very important to them. They take it very, very seriously each. You sit right there. I sit right here. You drink from this specific cup. Like, everything is very like structured, because there's intention behind everything that they're doing, and they cleanse you. You know, they make sure that there's no evil intentions or nefarious things trying to mess with you. And that's why it's very important who you sit with, because some people, they have no education on it. They just like the people that think that they can just crack necks on there and get YouTube views. There's people that are like, oh, this is a cool little fad, let me try to make money from this. I'm gonna charge $2,000 and say you can do ayahuasca with me. But they have no idea what they're dealing with. It's a very important thing. And so whenever you're sitting in this medicine, it's a inside approach to your body and how it is expressed out. So a lot of people say that they are looking for like a spiritual healing, right? Well, there's no such thing as a spiritual healing, because the spirit's already whole. God didn't make any mistakes when he made the spirit. The spirit doesn't need friends. The spirit doesn't need all these different foods and all that stuff. The spirit's already there. What people need to do is they need to heal the bad behaviors that is surrounded around the spirit that's causing you to not be able to fully express it. So whenever you're sitting in this medicine, you're looking at your behaviors. And so
real quick, how would you describe the taste?
it's not tasty. Yeah, it tastes very like gritty.
Sludgy, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sludge.
You drink it, right? And I take it you start to see your true self.
Yes.
How dark is that when you get to see your true self?
It's varies for everybody, but for me it was like it was almost kind of icky, you know. It's like all the things that I thought have slowly became my identity of who I was, but not who I truly was, because who I truly was, it was beautiful. But what I was creating, this manufactured identity, that thing was disgusting. That's not really who I am. So when I went down, saw my true self, whenever I'm doing this medicine, it was a blessing. It was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much light, there's so much love. But then I was seeing what I was showing to the world, because I'm trying to fit into a certain description. I don't want to be disliked. I don't want to have this or that. I like this material things that created an image of me that was almost like, nah. And so what you do is you just shed those things that are your identity, and it's a hard process because you've attached to that. Who you think you are and you created in the last 28 years, you've attached to that. So whenever you're singing the mess and you see who your true self is, and it's like it doesn't need any of those things, and you're like, wait, I gotta get rid of like those friends. I gotta get rid of those items, those relations. Like I have to. No, I like those. But it's not you that likes those. It's that identity that likes those. It likes to be liked. You know, it likes to be favored. It likes to think like you're awesome. Those people think you're awesome. You know, but those people are only feeding that identity. You know, and so whenever you're sitting with that, it's very challenging because it takes time. You know, you have to show yourself grace because we're only human, and human psychology likes to be liked. You know, and so to be able to, not saying you won't be liked if you do it, but most of the things that you want people to like you for is nonsense.
What else did you see or experience during that experience?
I saw quite a few ancestral things, you know. So my father's father dove a little deeper into the past, seeing why I am the way I am, because so essentially we are unfinished business of what our parents didn't get to finish. So if my dad wasn't able to get rid of lust or something, then that's something that's got passed on to me that's I have to figure out now. And my father before that, right? And his father, whatever the unfinished business is, it just gets passed on to you. So I was able to go back and to see where all that stemmed from. I'm from a Nigerian culture. And so I was able to, which was cool, is in one of the ceremonies I went back and I sat with my grandfather as he was doing a meeting. My grandfather was a chief of his village. And so he made all the decisions for the people, and all the counseling for the people. So marriage advice, anything that you need, they would just come and they'll go talk to him. So he was a very, very powerful dude. Also had like over 100 kids, 20 something wives, and so, and back then that was determination of power, is how many kids and everything you had. So I had time to sit in that one of the meetings, and I was able to see, more so it's not like I'm sitting there having a conversation with him like this. It's the energy and the presence of what you're feeling that is information that your body can process into what was going on during that time. So me sitting there and being in the area, I could sit and look and identify and watch what was going on in those meetings, why they favored him, how he felt when they would say certain things. I was getting that information too, because he is me, and so sitting with that ancestral information was very pivotal in my healing process for me to be able to pass on this healing to other people. Because in chiropractic, why I say it's so sacred is the best practitioner isn't really the one that gets the loudest cracks. It's the one that is able to have healed so much that they can now take you to somewhere that you haven't been, because they've moved past that healing. They've healed that within themselves, so they can be a sacred mirror, so that you can look and be like, okay, I am dealing with that kind of issue, and that you can get vulnerable enough to let that healing flow through. And so that's my goal, is that I have to clean up all these behaviors, all these things that I could be attached to, or I think that is important, and fight off the clown show. None of that stuff that matters. This stuff doesn't matter. This is 99% of what the world is made up of is energy, and they looked into, physiologists actually looked into this, and they looked into an atom, and they saw that, 99% of that atom is just space, just energy, potential energy. And 1% is actually the neutron, the electron, the proton. So that means that this right here, that's a physical thing, is only 1% of what's really going on in the world. But we're so attached to the material thing, which shows that we're so far off the mark. So our identity is so far off the mark that, of course, we're having all these issues where nobody can get along, and it's this versus that, Republican versus Democrat, divide and conquer. Of course that's going on in the body, because the whole mindset is so damaged, where their behaviors is only to justify their identity. That's the reason why people go to war. That's the same reason why they shooting people on the block. It's because their identity is like, no, I gotta look like this for that person, I gotta have that, I gotta be good, But the true spirit doesn't need any of that. It never did. It didn't need a friendship. It just needs, food, water, and a place to grow. So whenever you take it down to the simple things, nature, when you talk to the Rastafaris, man, they go back to nature. They're not really looking to be pleased and all these different things. They're just looking to make sure that they're letting the spirit be expressed, because then that's the closest thing that you can get to whenever you go back home, or you want to go to heaven, or whatever your perception is. The closest thing you can get to is deleting all those behaviors so that you can be more connected to the spirit.